right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Generations Unveiled Family Chronicles. I have been away. I didn't know if I really wanted to keep doing it or not, but my mom said I have to do it. And if Sheila Williams says I have to do it, I need to do it, or I'm going to get a whooping. I think I'm a little bit too old to get whoopings at 31. But anyway, I have a very special guest today. I have my little sister, Simone. How are you doing, Simone?
Good. I'm doing good. Hello, hello.
Yes, so a little bit of a backstory. This is actually Simone and I's first time talking face to face, and we're gonna get into that later. But yeah, this is literally our first time. So we're going to get to know each other via this podcast. But how you doing today? How's your day been?
I'm I've been doing really good. I have three little kids, so they keep me really, really busy. You know, two kids was a lot, but I feel like three kids is like a whole new level of just chaos.
I don't know how you do it. I
It's
I I would think one kid is already enough, but three, I don't know how you do
just it's fun.
it.
Fun. It's fun. I'm glad they
So
have.
how old are they?
So Callie just turned 5
Mm,
a few days ago, and then Kinsey will turn 3 in September, and Brooks is 9 months.
okay, Callie almost grown. Goodness,
Yeah,
she almost a grown woman.
yeah, it's sad. It's crazy. It makes me feel kind of old. Like 5 is like a big milestone. I feel like she's like gonna go to kindergarten this year. Really makes me feel old.
I hate to say it, but you are old. You're getting old. I'm sorry. Your knees hurting? Your knees hurting yet?
My back hurts.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
old.
you definitely getting old. Yeah, it's okay.
I accept it.
but um, but yeah, so let's start from the beginning. So first of all, let me cut my fan on. I'm hot. Hold on. Tried to cut the fan off because I didn't know if it was distracting in the background. Can you hear the
I
fan in the
saw
background?
saw the movement in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, your post
Okay.
or whatever that is in the back was moving.
Oh, yeah, it's the fan, but you don't hear it though, right?
No, I can't hear it at all.
Okay, good. It's hot as hell in here. But let's start from the beginning. So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay,
So
I've heard of that place because that's where John Jones lives at.
yes, he lived.
So,
I've I've talked to him a few times. I didn't even know who he was when he approached me a few times. But anyway, yes, he
oh
lives there.
snap.
And Breaking Bad. Whoever is like a big Breaking Bad fan, I guess it
Mm,
all happened in Albuquerque. So there's that.
okay, Albuquerque. Okay, so what was it like growing up there? Like, what's some of the earliest memories you have been out there?
In Albuquerque. The balloon fiesta. I don't know if you've ever heard of the balloon fiesta. My earliest
What's
memories, like
that?
it's like ballooners. I don't know who they are. Ballooners, pilots, I guess you call them. Pilots from all over the U.S. They come to Albuquerque, and there's like 2 weeks of like this festival, and yeah. So I mean, my earliest memory is like stuff like that, like festivals. And my dad worked for the government. So
Okay.
when I was like 2 and 3, we lived in Holland. So some of my earliest memories definitely being in Holland. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you were raised in a white family. So, what was it like being the only black person in that household?
My siblings, two of my sisters are actually black. Half.
Oh, okay. I did not know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't really something that it never really crossed my mind, I guess. I mean,
Right.
Albuquerque is such a melting pot. There's just so many different races and backgrounds. And I mean, you're just surrounded by everybody. So it really wasn't something
Mm,
that was like stood out
right.
to me or was ever pointed out to me. It just kind of was my life.
Right.
Yeah. And I had several friends growing up who are also adopted. So it just kind of seemed
So,
normal.
So the family that adopted you, so that was their thing, just like adopting children that needed to be adopted.
So yeah, my mom, she couldn't have children of her own. Uh,
Okay.
and at the time, my parents are LDS. So at the time, there was a Mormon adoption agency that
Mm,
they were a part of. And
okay.
my mom had already adopted my sister Pam through a foster care system.
Right. Sorry, I'm
Olivia,
just shaking the bottle. Go ahead.
Olivia and Christine were adopted through the same agency that I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you grew up. You grew up LDS.
Yes, I sure did.
Yes, and I don't know if Sheila would have ever approved that. We're gonna get more into that, but that household that she lived in, what was it like overall? Like, what was growing up like?
It was pretty magical. I think my parents did a really good job of kind of just making our childhood seem like it was magic. I mean, we traveled a lot. We went to Disneyland. My parents had a beach house in Mexico, so summers were spent
Mm,
at the beach, and it was pretty ideal. I mean, as you get older, you realize some things weren't as magical as you think, but as a child, I think that was pretty perfect from my perspective. One of my sisters has a different perspective, but my perspective was it was pretty magical, and I really enjoyed it.
who's the favorite in the household out of the siblings?
my my sis, hey, knock it off, damn dogs. Probably my sister Olivia. It was not me. My siblings will say I was the most spoiled because I was the youngest. So definitely the most
Right,
spoiled, but I wouldn't say that I was the favorite. No.
right. If it makes you feel better, you're Sheila's favorite.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, you
Woo!
really are. Like, yeah, I'm third place, but I'm
Okay.
above Brianna, so that's kind of all that matters. As
Yeah,
long
that's
as I'm above Brianna, she'll never be the favorite.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
she'll never. But yeah, you're a favorite. LJ is number two.
okay, cool.
um,
I,
yeah. So, did you play like sports and stuff growing up, or
yeah.
like extracurricular activities?
Oh, yeah. I played pretty much everything, I think. I mean, I played soccer, I did horseback riding, I did swim, I did basketball, uh, tennis. I think my
You did
parents
everything.
wanted us to like find a sport that we felt passionate about. I did track. Um, we didn't have to like stick with our sport, but we weren't allowed to quit.
Right. Yeah. No
So
quit policy. Yeah.
yeah, so I did gymnastics, and then when I was in middle school, a friend of mine introduced me to cheerleading, and then it kind of just like sunk in, and I just stopped doing other sports, and I did cheer for a really long time.
So, out of those, before you got into cheerleading, the sports that you did, which one do you think was either your favorite or the one you were just the best at?
See, I don't think that I was good at any of those sports. Like I was
Uh,
not good at basketball, and my sisters were really good at basketball, so I felt like my parents like really wanted it for me, but I was never good. I went to like college basketball camps as a kid, and I just like I sucked really bad. Like I
yeah,
was
you're not related to me. I don't think you're really related to me or Brianna, because we was some ballers.
you probably got all the talent because I just
Yeah, well, it skipped you. It definitely skipped you because me and Brianna.
it skipped me for sure. I'm gonna move to my porch because it's getting dark on this side.
Yeah, all good, all good. What do you Oh, so it's daytime. Well, it looks like it's about to be nighttime.
Yes, it is nighttime. It is
What
8:38 here. Can I flip it?
what time does the sun set? And what time does the sun set in out there?
Probably around like 8:30 now that it's summertime. I'm gonna flip the camera so you can see the lake.
Okay,
You see that?
nice. Okay, yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go on my
Nice little
porch
view.
because there's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
hopefully no spiders. We'll see. outside so my kids don't find me. Okay. All right.
So you were cheerleading. Were you? I know you sucked at basketball and other sports.
Oh, I was good at soccer. I could play soccer. I could.
Okay. Cool.
That's about it.
Man, were you good though? Was the question?
I was good. I had several tryouts for like travel teams.
Okay.
And I would go to I played like older. I played like 2 years older, and I played indoor soccer because that's a thing in Albuquerque. I don't know if that's a thing, but in Albuquerque that was a thing. So I did play on my older sister's team a lot. But it just I just wasn't. It wasn't for me. I was good at it, but I didn't try very hard.
Okay. So you just didn't have much interest in it, right?
No. And one soccer game, I slipped and I broke my arm, and it was a thing.
Soccer is. I'm trying because me living in China, I'm around a bunch of Europeans, so they're obsessed with soccer. As a matter of fact, the word soccer is a curse word, football, whatever. But I'm trying to get into it. The Euros is on, but it's not my thing because in America we don't, we don't care about it like that, So
it's boring. It's really boring to watch. So
thank you.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm sorry. I watched some of the game like the other day. A lot of the complaints that the Europeans have with our football is one of the things they hate is the stop and go. Well, it's the play, boom, and then it stops for like 10 minutes, then 3 seconds of play. And I do understand that argument, but I think with us, we don't. It's a low scoring sport. It's just not something we care about in America.
Yeah,
it's not something we care about.
Yeah, unless it's David Beckham, no one really cares.
Yeah, or Messi.
I see. I don't even know who that is.
You don't know who Messi is? Oh, everyone knows. Even I know. Yeah, he's like the GOAT of soccer. He's like the greatest. Yeah, he plays in the MLS for the Miami team. So
okay.
Useless information for you. Just some useless information. So you were cheerleading. Were you good at cheerleading?
Yeah, I'd like to say that I was. I cheered in college too. So yeah, that was
okay.
I really liked the tumbling and the gymnastics part of it.
Right.
Backflips and stuff like that. I really enjoyed doing that. There was always another skill you could get. You were never, no matter how hard you tried, you were never going to be the best. And I really enjoyed it.
Okay. So that was your main focus. And you mentioned that you did cheerleading in college. So yeah, you did cheerleading in high school. And what were some of your goals after high school? When you were in high school, what did you want to do after high school?
Some of my goals after high school. So I mentioned that I grew up LDS. And I'll be straight up honest with you. When I graduated high school, I just went crazy. I was I'm leaving to school. I'm just going to go wild. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to have a good time. I didn't really have any goals other than I'm going to go to school. I'm going to be away from my parents. I'm going to be away from all this strict culture and all this stuff. I'm just going to go wild. That was my thought process. I'm going to be just wild. So
sounds like every American college girl, but
yeah, that's my thought process. I was just excited to be free, I guess.
Okay, so I don't know much about LDS, but what were some of what is that living it? I don't know much about it.
Okay, so everybody's experience is different. Mine, I would say that I have a very negative experience with the church, and I think a lot of the negativity comes from the church leaders that were the people who were in charge when I was around. Now, I know some people who are LDS and, they don't have the same experiences that I did, and that's great, and I would never bash anybody else's religion. But as far as my experience, it was very cult-like. You know, if you're Mormon, you need to be hanging around the Mormons. You have to go to church for 4 hours, and then there's weekly activities. And I just felt like as a female, I was being groomed to basically just get married and have babies and learn how to take care of a household. And that was about it. I mean, in the Mormon church, the females aren't allowed to hold the priesthood, which basically the priesthood, you can like make calls and bless people. And, you know, it was just like a higher power of individuals, and females were not allowed to be that.
Mm. So basically, like the women, they pretty much didn't have rights. Basically, you serve your husband, and that's it.
Yes. And
Was it
have a
like a dress code?
oh yeah, very very strict. Modest is the hottest was like what I remember the most about like what you can wear. And then when you get married, you have to wear like these special like underwear that's called garments, and it's
Mm.
basically like clothes underneath your clothes, but it's like special underwear you can only wear when you get married, and then you have to wear those for the rest of your life underneath all your clothes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what made you decide I'm gonna break away from this? How did you decide? F you guys, I'm out.
I think there was a lot of um, like I questioned a lot of their teachings, and the people who were supposed to be the leaders, they weren't very nice, and they weren't very nice, and they weren't very welcoming. Whenever I would bring like a friend to church or something, they weren't very friendly. One of my sisters is a lesbian, and that's like forbidden in that church. And I feel like,
Right.
and she could totally have a different perspective, but I felt like people weren't necessarily the nicest to her. And although she
Right.
is my older sister, I felt like I was very very protective over her. I still am, but it was very disappointing to see the way that people treated her. I felt like a lot of people, even if they weren't necessarily saying it to her face, I knew they were saying things about her. But I think my breaking point was there was a day where I was probably like 16 because I could drive, and I tried to leave church because church was like a 4 hour thing. You would like have like a group setting, and then you would break off into like your individual classes, and then you would get together with like the females, and then the males would get together, and it'd be like all this, you know, these like classes. And there was something called Fast Sunday where you wouldn't eat for like 6 hours. You're fasting for whatever you decided to fast as for family. But anyway,
Right.
there was a day where I wanted to leave because I was hungry. I hadn't eaten. I was like, this isn't for me. I'm getting a migraine. I want to go home. And I think like four like male leaders like trapped me, and they like blocked the door, and they wouldn't let me leave. And then they brought me to like my class, and they like all sat around me. And I remember like sobbing hysterically. And then when church was over, I like got in my car and I drove home, and I was like, I am never going back.
Mm.
And I never went back.
How did your family feel about that when you said I'm done with you with this?
I don't think that I straight up ever was like, you know what, like F your religion, it's stupid. I don't think I ever like got to that point, but I just had expressed to my parents like it's not for me. It's just that's not where I want to be. And they were super my parents, shockingly, which they are very understanding. I'm not trying to say, but just like they're very spiritual. And my dad like grew up Mormon, and my mom like converted so that she could marry my dad. But like shockingly, they were like super supportive and nice about it, which if I would have known, I probably would have left like when I was in middle school, but it worked out. They were cool.
Right.
They never forced me to go back to church. I mean, they would like invite me to go with them, or, but yeah, I just never went back.
Well, that's good that they supported your decision because some parents they would I don't know, maybe disown you or something. I don't know. I've never been in these types of situations. I grew up in the church, and I choose to, still stay with my beliefs. But yeah, I know some parents could disown you if you decide, hey, I don't want to do this. So that is good that they, show support that, you decided, hey, I don't want to be with you guys anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good. I'm glad that I'm not a part of
That
that.
you're not with them. No,
Yeah,
I feel you.
yeah, yeah.
So where did you go to college at?
NAU, that's Northern Arizona in Flagstaff.
Okay.
Yeah, a little mountain town. It's like total college community. There's only college people, and it's like a little mountain town. It's pretty dope.
Okay. What did you major in?
Hotel and restaurant management.
Okay. And what made you decide to major in that?
I originally I wanted to be like an event planner. I wanted to do weddings,
Right.
um, or like own a restaurant, or go into like hospitality and maybe like work on a cruise ship or work at Disneyland or something like that. Like that's really what I thought I wanted to do with my life for a while.
Right.
So that's why I chose that.
Mm. And you said you were wild in college. Overall, I'm sure you had besides that stuff, you had a good experience at college.
Yeah, I think I wasn't really mentally prepared for the college standard of athletics. Um, it was crazy. I think that like the summer I could have probably like prepped myself for being a college athlete. I definitely got a rude awakening when I got there and I had to compete as a college athlete. It was hard, and I
Yeah.
was used to being like one of the best, and then I get to this place and everybody is like die hard bodybuilders, love cheer, love it. It was just like a whole new level of intensity that I wasn't prepared
Hmm. Yeah, like there are a lot of athletes. They were the top in high school, but then they go to college and they see you got a bunch of other people who are more talented and more disciplined because you can kind of get away with some stuff in high school, but in college, you know, coming from an athlete, I know.
for. Yeah, you understand for
I
sure.
understand. Just really only 5% of high school athletes play college, and then only 1% of those college athletes make it to the pros. So
That's
the
great.
it's so competitive. So yeah, I totally get it.
It was it was shocking, but it was fun. I made some lifelong friends, and it was good. And I went to college with two of my childhood friends, so it
Okay.
was good. I didn't go to school without knowing people, so that was good.
Hmm.
Have some buddies.
Okay. Okay. What year did you graduate college?
I did not graduate college.
Okay.
I did a year at NAU, and at the end of the year, we went to go compete at Disneyland. And this girl, I went to catch her, and she turned the wrong way, and my face caught her elbow. And if I frown, you can kind of see the line. But she busted open my face from here to here, and she broke my nose in half.
Fuck.
And I had like giant raccoon eyes, and I took my finals with like sunglasses on. But anyway, so after I got my face busted open, I realized, this isn't for me. So I called
Damn.
my mom, and she came and she picked me up and she brought me home after the year was over. And then I transferred to UNM, which is the college in New Mexico in Albuquerque. And I did a semester and a half. And while I was in my half semester, I met Taylor, my husband.
Okay. So that's what the next question I was want to go into. So that's how you guys met in college. So like y'all had like class together, or how did? So
No,
how did the meeting happen?
we met on Tinder. So he was living in
Interesting.
Santa Fe, which Santa Fe
Okay.
is the capital city of New Mexico. It's about an hour away from Albuquerque. So he was in
Okay.
Santa Fe and I was in Albuquerque, and we matched on Tinder and we went on a few dates. And then I ended up moving to Santa Fe and dropping out of school. And I became a manager at like a gymnastics studio in Santa Fe.
Okay. You don't hear many marriages happening on Tinder. You hear about the other bull crap that goes on. It was very, interesting to. And okay, so how did you know that he was the one that you wanted to be with?
I think it was our third date. We went grocery shopping. We were gonna do like an Italian night, and we went to the grocery store, and I felt like he felt super comfortable. Like it was our third date, and I could like see his personality coming out. And I remember he got a shopping cart, and we were walking into the store, and he was making me laugh, and we were just like getting groceries, and it was so easy. And I remember my best friend will tell you, but I called her during the date because he like went somewhere or did something, and I said like I could see myself like doing this for the rest of my life, like going and getting groceries together, and just how easy and funny and simple it was. I was like, this is what I want for the rest of my life. Yeah.
And so, how long were y'all dating before he popped the question?
I think it was like a year and a half, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It could have been 2 years. Yeah.
So
I think it
when did y'all meet? 2000. Let me make
so
a
we met in
guess. 16.
2015 or 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got married in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was his family? Like, did they like you when they first met you?
They're so like so welcoming and so warm, and just he took me home. Like I had gone home, like he had brought me here because now we live in his hometown. But I remember the first time he brought me home to meet his family. Like he has both sets of grandparents living here, and his sister lives here with her kids, and it was very like it was just something that I hadn't experienced. Like I didn't experience such a like a family unit like that. Like I've never had a relationship with a grandparent before. Like my mom's mom would like come to visit. My dad's parents are both deceased, so it was like really special for me. And I remember telling Taylor's grandma like, "You're like the ideal grandma, like the grandma you see in movies where you go over to her house and there's fireplace and there's warm cookies, and she's just so like little and sweet, and she just loves
Yeah.
all." So it was very, I mean, I still love her, but it was very sweet
Right.
meeting
So it
everybody.
was just your first time just meeting that, basically that family environment. Like that's something that you had never experienced. Crazy. A lot of people haven't really experienced that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And 1 year after, so like right after you got married, when was Callie born?
The next year, so because I was pregnant on our first anniversary because I couldn't drink. I remember
Mm.
because it was like a bottle you're supposed to drink on your first anniversary, but I couldn't because I was pregnant with Callie. So within
You
our
can
first
drink.
year,
It's okay. You can
yeah.
drink. It's okay. Don't listen to me. I will get you in trouble.
So our first year of being married, we had Callie.
Okay, cool. Then it was, and after that, it was bam. I gotta get another one. Boom. I gotta get another one.
And Kinsey, we were like, we want a sibling for Callie. We do. And
Yeah.
maybe for a sibling, but I got pregnant like right away with Kinsey. So
Mm-hmm.
we wanted Kinsey, but it just came as a complete surprise. Like we
Yeah.
thought we were gonna have all this time, but no, she came right away.
Well, you made Sheila happy because for the longest she's been begging to be a grandma, and she's finally won. But she doesn't really. She says it don't really count. But I tell her no, it counts. You are a grandma. You are. So leave me alone. Leave
Yeah.
Brianna alone. You're a grandma. Leave me and Brianna alone. Wait for LJ if you think it don't count. But that's
But
another
you
15, 20 years.
take what you can get. That's funny.
Yeah, as I said, take what you can get. So
Hmm.
speaking of Sheila, the infamous Sheila Williams, me and Brianna, we always refer to her by her first name. We don't call her that because I'm not trying to get smacked, but
Yeah.
we always refer to her. Yeah, we refer to her as Sheila. She's always been referred to. But anyway, um, when did you decide you wanted to look for us or whatever?
Or what happened? So I actually didn't decide. It was kind of crazy because my mom, one Christmas, she got like a sale, like an awesome deal on these DNA kits. Like,
Ancestry.com?
yeah, or like 23andMe. I can't remember what it was, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she had given them to all of us, and she was like, if you want to, like, no pressure, not a big deal. And one of my sisters was like, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I did mine, and then I just forgot about it. Like, it was just on my counter at my house. And then I had Callie, and my mom came and stayed with us. And while she was staying, she was like cleaning my kitchen or something, and she found the kit. And she was like, she's like, it's already done. All you had to do was put it in the mail. She kind of got after me about it. She was like, that's lazy. And so she took it and she put it in the mail. And then, like, I just, like, forgot about it. Like, never even thought about it again. And then I think, like, when you register or something, you get an email about it. And it was like, your results are here. And, like, I never even checked the email. We had our business at the time in Santa Fe, so we were super busy. I just had a new baby. I didn't know what I was doing. So I really, like, it's kind of just, like, not a thing. And then I remember we were shopping at Target. And I think we were, like, waiting in line. And I was, like, super bored. So I, like, started going through my email. And I was like, oh, I forgot about this. And on my email, it was, like, this, like, person could either be, like, it was, like, this person is, like, I don't know. I can't remember the exact, like, percentage. It was, like, this person is so close. Like, they have to be, like, I think it said, like, a sister or a mom. It was so crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, that's insane. And I remember showing Taylor, and I was like, look. And he was like, that's so crazy. And then we went over to TJ Maxx, and I was like, it was Crystal. And I remember it said her full name. So I was like, maybe I should look her up on Facebook. And so that's when I looked her up on Facebook, and I sent her a message, not thinking anything was going to come out of it. Like, no, like, I thought she was going to be like, yeah, whatever. Like, that's so weird. Like, this stuff isn't real. Don't worry about it. Like, that's really, like, honestly what I thought was going to happen.
Right.
So then I think I messaged her, and I don't even think I heard back from her that day. I think she, like, went to go, like, investigate and stuff. And I don't even think I heard from her that day. I can't remember. And then maybe a few days later, she was messaging me like, oh my goodness, like, your mom is my sister. And they, like, went down this wormhole, and she's like, if you want to call her, you can. And it was like, this crazy, like, so crazy. All from a DNA test.
All from I want to get more into that in a minute, but I am curious to know, how does the ancestry.com stuff work, because I really want to do it, but they don't ship to China, unfortunately. So, like, how does, like, yeah, so, like, I know you swab it and you mail it, and they send you the stuff back. So they give you, like, the name of every person that could be in your.
Yeah. So you get, like, yeah, it just shows you like at the bottom, like it gives you like what you are and like all this stuff. And then at the bottom, there was like these people could be your relatives. And like other people, like my friends who have done it, they've never had like a map, like a this person is your mom or this person is your sibling. Like they've never experienced that, like DNA being so.
Right.
But yeah, tell you like this person could be your cousin. Like I think it even said like could be like this person could be this, like could be that. And like on my test it was like no, like this person is like either your mom or your sister. I think that's what it said.
I'm trying to figure out how did they get Crystals and how did she pop up unless she did. I'm trying to
Yes,
figure out.
I talked to Crystal about it and she had done it. And I think hers
Okay.
was a gift too. I think hers was a gift too. I think I can't remember exactly, but she had done it, I think, like a year before me or something like that, or a few years.
Okay, so that must be why. Because I mean, I couldn't pop up on there unless they, unless the iPhone got the AI and then stalking me. But that's for another
Yeah,
topic. What percentages? Since we are, I guess, related, obviously, and I'm joking. What percentage of like popped up? Because I've been wanting to know like where the hell do I come from? Like
sure.
where do we come
I
from?
I know I screenshotted it, but I don't remember. I'll have to send it to you. I
God
know
damn
it's
it!
a screenshot, but
Get off this podcast now.
I'm sorry. I'll go. I'll go. No, I'll send it to you because I can't remember. It was a mixture.
Please do.
It was. It was. Yeah,
Because
I'll send it.
I'm like, so for the longest, I just want to know where do we come from? Like
Yeah.
where, I've heard maybe Brazilian, I don't know, but I just want to know like where, and who popped up on there. This
Yeah.
am I related to? Are we related to someone famous? Is
Yeah. It's funny you
are we
should.
Michael Jordan's children? I don't know.
I grew up thinking that Ice Cube was my dad. Like I was convinced. I was like I think I was like
It might be.
80% positive. I thought
Wow.
I know, weird.
Hey, he might be a kin. He might be related to us.
He
I
might
don't.
I'm gonna when we get off, when I'm laying in bed tonight, I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna look at all the things. Because I'm sure since then, because Callie's 5 years old, I'm sure there's more on there now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
We really might be related to. I mean, is there? We don't have. We have family in San Diego, which is
Okay.
close to LA.
Yeah.
So it might be. You never know.
You never know. You never know.
So after talking with Crystal,
Yeah.
how did you get in contact with mom? How did that work out?
Crystal gave me her number and was like, if
Mm-hmm.
you want to, you can call her. You don't have to if you don't want to. And I was like, yeah, I want to call her. This is crazy. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I called her that day. And
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because at the time, my in-laws were so invested in the show they started watching about like people meeting up with their like adopted parents for the first time. So they were
Right.
so like hooked. Like they were so engaged. They were like so emotional for me. They were like on this ride with me. They were so like, this is incredible. So yeah, I do remember that. But yeah, no, I called her that day.
And then that's when it just kind of just came to fruition that XYZ happened and blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
yeah.
Mm. So how did you like feel? Like were you what was the feeling like for you to finally, figure out this?
It was pretty cool. It was cool. It was kind of crazy because I remember when she came to visit, we did have a very emotional conversation because she didn't like. I guess she didn't. I think in her head she was worried that there would be like resentment on my end or anger
Right.
or bitterness, and I never once in my whole life like thought of those feelings. Like I never ever had those feelings towards her. So it was
Right.
kind of like just eye opening. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, I had just had Callie, and I was so emotional. I might get emotional now, even talking about it, but I was so emotional at the time because I had just given birth to my first child, and I thought like the amount of love someone could have to like have a baby, grow them for 9 months inside your body, and then hand them over to someone because you know that they're gonna have like because you want them to have something different. You know, like
Yeah.
that is like a new level of like empowerment and strength that I don't think that I could ever have. Like you have to be probably one of the most selfless people in the entire world. And I was able to express that to her when she was here. And I'm glad that I was because I think that she had like a fear of like what I thought about her. And it was like I've never had any resentment or anger to her. And I'm glad that I was able to tell her because I think she had that in her heart for so long. And that makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought that she was very like a superhuman, you know?
Right. Yeah, I think that's good that you let her know that, hey, I have no resentment, because I'm sure she's had that guilt with her for a long time, and I'm sure she probably thought maybe you would feel a certain type of way, but I think that really has made it easier for her to know that you've accepted that there's no resentment. I appreciate you, and all of this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember when I first found out. I was actually in Korea
Oh,
at the
really?
time. Yeah, I was living in Korea at the time. That's a long story. And mom called me,
Uh-oh.
and I was like, "It's either two things I thought: a death in the family, or I did something." I always assume I did something,
I'm in trouble.
because I kind of, yeah, I always like assume something. But I thought it was a death in the family. It's like, oh shit, not again. But it wasn't. It was like, all right. And then that's when she told me the situation. I didn't know how I felt about it. I wasn't angry or anything. I wasn't like excited, but I wasn't angry. Just like, what the fuck? Like,
No.
how did you hid this? Like, how do I not like? Is there anything else you need to tell me?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there are other stuff I can talk about that on camera, but yeah, it was just like I didn't have like an emotion. I was just confused. Like, what the Brianna seemed excited, I think, um, but me, I didn't. It was just it was kind of a neutral feeling, because it's like, damn, you hid this the whole time. It's impressive that you can hide that for that long. That's pretty impressive. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, but yeah, I just nobody knew. Like you could have not have ever. I would have never known
too
at
crazy.
all. So it was just yeah. I didn't I wasn't like angry or nothing, but I was just like
Yeah.
damn. Like, but it was. So when did y'all like meet up in person? It was like what 2000. I don't remember the date. I know y'all did meet up, but I don't remember the date.
Um, it was right before I had Kinsey. So probably like September. She was born in 22, 21 or 22. I can't remember. 20,
Okay.
so right before I gave birth to Kinsey. Yeah.
Okay. How was it like meeting her and seeing how she is and her personality and everything? How was that?
It was so great. It was so fun. Like I can't wait for her to come back. It was I don't know, I spent my whole life like not that it matters, but like not like with my kids, I'm like, oh, like Brooks kind of looks like his dad and Kinsey looks like me. Like I had never experienced that. So when she
Yeah.
was here, and I don't know, like I just felt like she looked like me. I just like was excited,
Yeah.
like go to Taylor's parents and be like, doesn't she look like me? Like, does she look similar? Like I was just so excited, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and I just believe like no matter how old you get, like you still need. And
Absolutely.
I felt like she had a very motherly. both her and Jimmy, when they were here, there was like a calmness that
Mm-hmm.
they brought into our house.
Right.
Uh, their energy was exactly what we needed. And we just had such a good time. There was so much like talking and laughter, and it's like one of my cherished memories in this house for sure.
Right. Yeah. She is very motherly. Even I'm the oldest, and I'm still her baby, no matter what.
Yes,
So,
I believe that.
and that's her. That's her nature. All my friends growing up, they love her.
Mm,
She was always the cool one. So, well, she thinks she cool.
cool.
She thinks she is.
Cool.
But no, my all my friends always loved her.
Yeah, I believe
And
she's fun.
yeah, definitely talk so much trash. She like the roast. She be talking trash. She like the roast. She still be roasting me.
I believe it.
Yeah, she still be roasting me. So like, what was some like things you like always wanted to like know about the family? Now that you've gotten in like contact with us and everything.
So, you know, being adopted, we always have like these birth stories. Like my sisters are adopted, so we all had our birth stories, and we kind of like, I don't know, maybe as a kid it was like a story that we would ask for, like, tell me about when I was adopted, and so I had like a few memories that my parents would always tell me, and one was my birth mom was a singer, um, and she was very beautiful. I think in the notes, like in the adoption paper, it said that people were like blown away by her beauty. She was a singer. She and something about like church or something. I can't remember. I can't remember the exact details. Oh, and that I had a brother that was like 4 years older. That was something I was always told. So when I got older, I wouldn't date people that were 4 years older than me just in case. Like, I kid you not. I have stories about that where they
I'm
fight.
I'm technically 2 years older than you.
Well, great. I turned down great people. I'm just kidding. But I very. If you look similar to me, if you were from
Yeah.
that area, we can't date because you could be my brother.
Yeah, hey, that is true.
I think it was the beauty, the brother, and the singing. I think that was the three things that I was told about as a child. So just hearing those from her, like hearing,
Mhm.
like, this is your family, like you do have a brother, you have a little brother, and you have a sister, like all this stuff was just really cool to be like, okay,
Yeah.
wow, okay.
Yeah, mom was like she the best singer that I know. Like even better than these like R&B artists. Like she can shake. I don't know if you've heard her sing. I'm sure she sung to you.
She's
Yeah, she can sing. Like it's not a 10 out of 10, it's like a 20 out of 10.
is like next level. It's incredible.
I mean, I've told her I'm a little bit envious because I didn't pick up the singing genes. She told me she could teach me, but I'm not really that dedicated to learning. That's I just stick to rapping.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I'm not dedicated enough to learn.
Yeah, but yeah, and Brianna can sing too. Brianna's done a couple songs with me about 10, 11, 12 years ago, and Brianna has her own song. It's called it's on YouTube, just a music video. It's called Bald Headed Ho Shit.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's really the song title. I'm not making this up.
You're
But
lying.
yeah, I know you can. It's on YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna YouTube it when I get off.
Yeah, bald head ho shit. And she's literally on there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Brianna.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but even though it's like that's a ratchet song, but as far as like the talent, yeah, Brianna, she can sing, and she was also very athletic. Like I brag today because I see these kids today, and they're like weak, especially these boys. They're
Oh my,
like weak. I'm like, man, my sister when she was 10, she hit 20 push-ups like that. Because Brianna would, she'd be hitting push-ups. Are you running? Yeah, Brianna, she was, and this was back when she was an angel. But yeah, she sing and play sports. Oh yeah, she was killing it. Like better than these boys I know today.
yeah, well, they're all soft.
Uh, yeah, it's like cool. I can go on with that. I can ramble on that for hours.
I did. Did you hear they took dodgeball out of school? Can't play
What?
ball in school anymore. Yeah,
Why?
because everyone's too weak.
You can't play what the?
I know.
Yeah, what is wrong? What is going on over there?
Oh, I don't know.
Like I'm just like what the you can't play what can you do?
Not dodgeball. I feel like
Oh, but you can learn 216 pronouns and who this person has sex with in school though, right?
Yeah.
But you can't play dodgeball.
You can't
Like
play
come
dodgeball.
on now.
But you know what? We live in a really, really small town, and we kind of just follow our own rules here. So I'm sure our kids are going to grow up playing dodgeball for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
I know small towns, y'all are like very community based, so you guys kind of stay away from all that stuff
Absolutely.
that's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Are your kids in public? Well, I forgot they're young. Never mind. But will they
Yeah.
go to public school or private school?
Yes, they will go to the public school. There's no private school here.
Okay.
It's like public school, like it is public school, but I mean, there's like 1,000 people in our town, and like the high school, the junior high, and the elementary and the preschool, it's all one building. It's one little school.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So it's like it's a public school, but everyone because it's small
Yes.
and it's government funded. So obviously that's why it's public.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But you can't play dodgeball. But you can't play dodgeball. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I know.
That's terrible. That's my favorite game. When I used to be a PE teacher, I used to play with the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, you would build character, you know?
And I used to light their faces up too. I don't care how old you are. Little
Yeah.
8-year-old boy, I take that ball and I light his face up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they would light my face up.
Yeah. It's fun.
Right. Like I can understand if like the rule is no face shots. I get that part. I mean, we didn't. Yeah.
It's a
Like
dodge.
Yeah. But like the ball is soft. Like no one plays with a basketball or a baseball.
Yeah, I agree.
It was weird. That's what y'all dealing with over there in the U.S.
All kinds of fun.
But a few more things. So like, what do you do? What do you do now?
What do I do now? So I am a stay-at-home mom. Is my main.
Okay.
But I also do a lot of social media stuff. So I run the social media for our local grocery store, and I also run the social media for my husband's real estate company. Well, it's like a family business.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But I run their social media as well.
Okay, nice. That's what's up. So, well, I may ask you for some social media tips because I struggle to grow my brand.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's my jam. I usually I go back and forth where I'll take a break from social media.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, but then I don't know. There's been so many awesome opportunities that it's given our family. I do a lot of training social media stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's been some really good opportunities and really good brands I've been fortunate for.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship. For sure.
Yeah. I say like I hate it, but like I'm on it every day because I kind of have to
Yeah.
or whatever. I mean, what? So like, what are the brands that you've you said you've done some brands. What brands have you like worked with through social
Um,
media?
children brands. But like hotels, like Marriott hotels, I've worked with
Okay.
them several times. The Gaylord hotels. Life is Good. I'm a brand ambassador for them. So every month I'll get like a box of like Life is Good swag just to like pass around, and just when you sign a contract with Life is Good, you just basically say like you're gonna be like a positive person. You're just gonna promote positivity and be happy on your platform for as long
Right.
as you contract with them. Stuff like that. Who else have I worked with? I don't know if you know any of these. Oh, I've worked with Cat and Jack by Target. It's a children's clothing brand.
Okay.
It's a
Oh
big one.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, stuff like that. A lot of like Verbos, vacation rentals, hotels. The Denver Zoo. I collaborated with them on
Mm.
time we were in Denver. Um, yeah, stuff like that. A lot of like kid brands.
Mm. So you basically Instagram famous.
No, not hard.
you you Instagram famous. You a celebrity on
No,
these kids brands. Next
no,
next thing you know, I'm gonna hear you doing brands for Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
no. We just Nickelodeon ever since we watched that documentary.
I still haven't seen. Are you talking about Quiet on Set? I still haven't seen it yet. I need to watch it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I grew up watching that. Like Drake and Josh, that was my shit. So to
Yeah.
hear about that, I'm like, whoa.
I was Mormon, so I didn't watch. I mean, we had PBS
Mm.
about it.
Yeah, I watched PBS because like we didn't have cable at the time, so like PBS was all we had. So Arthur and
Yeah, Arthur,
Dragon Tales,
Cyber Chase, and yep, Zoom,
Clifford, Zoom.
Clifford.
That was my show.
Zoom was. I was like, I'm gonna be on Zoom one day. Yeah.
I emailed. They emailed me. No, they not emailed. I wrote them a letter. And they sent me a letter back.
Really?
Yeah, they sent me a letter back. I used to
Cool.
love Zoom.
Do you still have that letter? You should frame it.
I wish. I wish. I don't know where it's at. I lost like so many of my stuff. I used to watch Zoom. I used to watch all that stuff.
That
And
was
me and
cool.
Brianna, we used to watch it all the time.
Uh-huh.
And no
Yeah.
cable, so what else can we do?
Didn't have didn't have cable either. And then like
Yeah.
Saturdays there'd be like a cartoon.
Oh, Saturdays. I was notorious for this. Saturdays, I had a schedule on every Saturday. I would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would watch Gilligan's Island. Do you know that show Gilligan's Island? It's like a show that came out in the '60s about these guys stuck on a stranded island. And
Okay.
then from 6 to 7, I used to watch it. Then 7 from 8, I would watch Captain Planet. And then 8, I would go on Kids WB. And I would watch all the shows like Mucha Lucha, Ozzy and Drix, Static Shock, Yu-Gi-Oh. And I would turn to ABC to watch
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Recess.
Yeah,
Oh, you like
Recess.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes, Recess and Yu-Gi-Oh. I did watch those.
Mom hated Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, my mom.
She hated. She told me it was demonic.
Yeah, my mom too.
It was demonic though. I've rewatched it as an adult. It's pretty demonic.
Yeah,
Mom was right.
I think I'd want my kids watching that. Yep.
I went out and bought some Yu-Gi-Oh cards like a year ago.
I didn't know they still did them.
Yeah, they still got them, and like I tried to play like because I will always tell my matter of fact, hold on.
Let's see. Oh my god.
I still got them. Yeah.
I bet you could sell those.
You know what? I might be able. I might think about it. I got them for cheap.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, but what's funny is that I would talk to my girl about Yu-Gi-Oh all the time, and then I went and bought the cards. But the problem is I don't really remember how to play. So like I went on YouTube to remember because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And she beat me like 3 times in the damn game. And I just have flashbacks to the time I went to Toys R Us to play Yu-Gi-Oh at a tournament and they beat me. I feel like I just suck at the game. But you can ask mom. I was obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh, like it was life. But yeah, I should sell them.
Wow.
And then Recess, like you said, Recess. The guy that voiced the principal, he just passed away a few days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I forgot about that show completely.
Oh yeah, Recess was my show.
They played dodgeball all the time.
All the time.
All the
Because
time.
we weren't soft back then. We weren't soft in the 2000s. Every episode was dodgeball, and then we got cable, and that's when I started getting into Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. So, but last thing.
Okay.
So you're married with 3 children, and I think you're the perfect example for women. I see a lot of the women in America, these OnlyFans thoughts and, all this Instagram garbage. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of them just garbage. I want a 6-figure, 6-foot type of. What advice do you have for like young women not to be influenced by the garbage that they see on social media? What advice would you give young women?
It's so easy to think. It's so easy to think that everything you see online is reality. And if you try to compare yourself to all these people you see online, you're probably not going to find happiness. It wasn't until I completely got rid of all of my social media. It wasn't until then that I found my husband and I found happiness. This wind has been crazy. And then I got back on social media and I went the complete opposite direction and I just started influencing and stuff like that. But I will say it's really easy to get caught up in TikTok and Instagram and seeing all these people do all this stuff. But I just personally feel like you're not going to find happiness that way. If you're really worried about what other people think and what other people think about you or view your life, or if you try to create this image, I just think you're never going to find happiness that way.
I agree 100%. I really think, and we talk trash about social media, but we use it like every day. You do it for a living. I do it to try to make a living. But you're so right. It's many people, they compare themselves to other people, and it ruins people's self-esteem and self-worth. And I'm very guilty of that as well. I'm very guilty. I can admit that that I see such and such on social media and it makes me feel a certain type of way.
Absolutely.
And then I see how, in the dating climate, especially in the US, where people's what's the term? Standards, their expectations are so much higher because they think that what they see on social media is reality. Not every man makes 6 figures. Not every man is 6'3". Like 12% of men in the U.S. are like 6 foot, over 6 foot tall. I'm not even. I'm 5'11". You know what I'm saying? Most people don't know that, but yeah. So with people, social media, it just So the advice is stop looking at social media. This goes for men and women, and focus on real life.
No, it's okay to look at social media, but I think it's just remember that you're seeing the highlights of people's lives. Right. You're not necessarily seeing negative. So just tread lightly, I guess. I don't know. Just keep things in perspective. My advice would be just keep things in perspective.
Right. So
Everything will
basically, it's fake. Most of the stuff you see is fake. It's highlights. Like she said, it's highlights.
fake. They're faking
It's fake.
it.
They're fake it. It's all garbage. So
Yeah, it's all fake. No,
it's all
not
fake.
everything's fake, but just keep life in perspective and just
Right.
just do what makes you happy.
There we go.
Do what makes you happy. Because when I started out doing influencing, I just would say yes to everybody, and I would just post random brands and try just to make everybody happy. I wasn't being authentic, so be authentic. Know what's true, and just be yourself.
Being authentic. There we go. Because a lot of people on the internet are not authentic,
Yeah.
So that's real. Be authentic, be yourself. She's a social media expert, so y'all listen to her.
Yeah.
I ain't the social media expert. I'm hoping this gets views. I hope y'all.
I'll share it. I'll tag you.
That's right. You'll finally. You are the one that's going to help me grow my brand.
Is that why you wanted it on?
That's bingo. There we go. I tried to put it on mom. Nope, it is not on mom. It's me. It was me all along.
Yeah. Do it.
This is my plan to use her to grow, and after that, I'm gonna block her off everything.
Yep. I knew it.
There we go. Can't trust no one.
No, seriously.
Yeah. But anyway, it was good having you on, Simone. I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule with the 3 little ones and the husband. I appreciate your time getting to, know more about you. This is our first time,
Crazy.
talking face to face.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm going to go see if, my kids are all asleep, see if Taylor accomplished bedtime by himself.
So thank you guys for watching. Simone, do you want anything you want to share to the audience? Any whatever you got.
Follow me on Instagram at Simone Brooks Smith. I'm on TikTok, but I haven't really established that yet. Yeah, and make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Right? Is that how people? Yeah.
Yeah, subscribe. Yeah. Quit being haters and subscribe to my shit.
Yeah, guys, this podcast is great. Other family members that are going to be on here, and I think you already have a couple up right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got some more coming. Yeah, and make sure you guys follow me on Instagram _Uncle Money. Follow my sports podcast _Rundown Podcast. Follow my other YouTube channel, Black Beyond Borders, where I talk about my life in China. And listen to my music. Everything is in the link in the description. We are out. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.